Tonight on Horror Hot Tub, it's visual effects artist Daniel Leatherdale. Welcome to Horror Hot Tub. I'm your host, Dr. Eldridge, and tonight our guest is Daniel Leatherdale, visual effects film artist. Daniel, welcome.
Hello.
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 So, Daniel, tell us a little bit about yourself, since some people don't know much about your job in film. Composter, visual effects.
I'm an image composter.
Right. Does
Imposter.
Does this involve shit?
That involves piecing together everything we have
Oh.
and then making one final image.
Could you give us a few examples in your curriculum vitae?
On my CV resume, I worked on a little film called Inception. And
Wait, did you say Inception?
I didn't say Inception. I worked on a few Harry Potter movies and the Deathly Hallows.
Wait, did you say Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows?
Yes, the Deathly Hallows. Isn't that right, West?
Put him back. He's basting. Anyway, so go on.
Oh, I went on The Dark Knight Rises, Rush.
Dark Knight Rises.
Paul, Kubo and the Two Strings, the Box Trolls, the next film, Missing Link.
Are you a local?
I am not a local. I'm from a foreign land called Brexit.
Ah.
Yes.
But now you're at Leica. For the time, or at least you were.
I'm now at Leica. Yes, I am an alumni of Leica's many people, talented artists, and many are probably in this pool right now, dissolving.
He might be correct. Anyway, let's get on with the film tonight. All right? Would you like to introduce it?
Well, sure. Well, this is one of the best films I've ever seen, and it's made somewhere on planet Earth. It's called.
Roll tape. What was your first professional job as a film visual artist?
As a film visual effect, well, after working in commercials for many years, I worked. I joined a crew called Double Negative as a company, and I jumped onto Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Really?
Yes, and that's So just I was just rotoscoping, which is basically cutting out different items that you can't regularly key with a green screen.
Now, the guy who wrote Scott Pilgrim, he's a Portland person. Was that what brought you to Portland?
Brian, no, that was Leica. Leica Animation Studios, which is one of the biggest stop motion studios in the world. They worked on Coraline, Paranorman, Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings,
Right.
and the upcoming film Missing Link.
Excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about Missing Link? Apparently, if I'm not correct, does that connect with Sasquatch in some way?
It may do. It's the missing link between man and its previous ancestor, the ape. So yeah, cryptozoic influences indeed.
Is it set in the Pacific Northwest?
Not that I could say, but if you look at the trailer, there's particular areas that might be noticeable if you're from this area.
Oh! I'm sorry, we need to go back to the film. Apparently we had some technical difficulties. Oh, the squatch is happening. We're squatching. Keep squatching, keep watching. How do you like the movie so far?
Well,
Is it getting better or worse?
Well, the cameos were a bit weird. I didn't see why it had to have so many. I didn't see the reason why they had to wheel out Kirk Douglas, because that was unneeded. It was unnecessary. It was a barbershop scene, and he was kind of rotting.
I don't remember that point.
That's because you blacked out into the brine.
Ah, yes, that's right, that's right. All right, well, maybe we need to refresh and get back to the film so I can catch up with the threads.
You're going to love this next scene, because what happens is...
We're back. Welcome to Horror Hot Tub. I hope you've been totally disinterested in the film, because what's interesting is Daniel Leatherdale is here with us tonight in the hot tub.
Hi!
Daniel, how do you like the film so far?
Oh, I loved it. I thought the best part was when... And... happened. It was great.
Daniel,
Yes.
how did you get into filmmaking?
It was originally, my doctor prescribed me like 6 weeks to try it at least and see if it helped.
Really?
And then it did help, and then I figured that that's what I need to do for the rest of my life to keep the pain.
What is the most terrifying moment you've ever experienced in the process of making a film? Like, you know, a deadline or something that really could have destroyed your life.
It probably is a deadline. Deadlines are usually terrifying, and they say you've only got a couple of days to do this in, and it's got to be ready by Friday.
Right.
Which is like, as an artist, you're thinking, shit, how do I get all this shot, this thing looking correct and ready for an audience by Friday, and just say it's Tuesday? You're like, oh crap, and it could be even shorter than that. You might even have a day on it. And I think that's probably, you were right, that was probably the terrifying thing.
Who would you say is the finest horror film maker?
My 2 favorite horror films are probably like American Werewolf in London and probably Psycho. But I wouldn't necessarily, those directors are horror directors. I think horror comes when you least expect it, from a source that you don't expect it from.
The sequel series have screwed up everything, right?
Yes.
You just add and add to this canon that doesn't exist.
Yes.
What do they call it?
It's a stew with too much salt in it.
Yes, I would agree with this. Much like this one.
Yes. It's very briny.
It keeps the slugs away. Speaking of slugs, all you out there on your couches, let's get back to the film, shall we?
Let's dive back in.
Dive back in.
Dive back in.
Dive back in. Dive back in. Dive back in. Well, that's it for tonight's Horror Hot Tub. We'd like to thank again our sponsor, Adam Goldman. Here are his remains, and he remains in the hot tub forever after he being the first guest. We'd also like to thank Daniel Leatherdale, visual Hollywood film effects artist extraordinaire. He's worked on many, many films. I'd like to hear more about his work, but we don't have enough time. And have we forgotten anything?
How do you get this brine so wonderful?
Well,
Tell me your secret. Tell me your secret.
Well, it's kind of like when you season a pan. Over time, you just sort of leave a residue of meals from the past, if you know what I mean. And what I mean is this: it's time for you to become part of the brine.
Oh no!
It's going to be amazing soup after a while. Eventually we'll get some women in here, and that'll help. You know.